Like a bowl.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a full chapter breakdown of Robert Greene's book, The Laws of Human Nature, Chapter 1, The Law of Irrationality. This is the only one I'm going to post full length because I started a new channel on YouTube. It's called My Book Club, where I'm going to be posting 1/3 of the video. All of the videos are 1 hour long. So I'm going to post 1/3 of the video on my book club channel, right? And I'm going to post some snippets on this channel. And I'm going to post a whole full-length video on my Patreon, which you could check out under the description down below. We're going to be doing it twice a month. And those videos are going to be 1 hour long, very in-depth. And yeah, you guys are really going to love it. It's based on that, it's going to be based on one chapter per 2 weeks. And sometimes it requires 2 videos, so you may have a whole chapter for the whole month. And that's how you chew and chew your food and process it in a way that is helpful, right? So I'm gonna be breaking down everything. It's gonna be like church, people, all right? We're gonna be doing it like church, all right? So we're gonna be going to church, all right? So I hope you guys enjoy this, and if you like it, just go to my Patreon on the description down below and purchase and become a Patreon supporter there, because you guys are really gonna love it. And also there we're gonna be posting live streams from Instagram, because on Instagram I'm gonna be posting live streams there, obviously, right? But the difference is that live stream is answering people's questions, and so I answer it, and you guys can also, for the freeloaders, can also go to my Instagram and follow me, and so that when I'm live you guys can call in and answer questions for free. Now this is perfect for the freeloaders, but also you have to be a follower, and also that video is going to be deleted, because that video is also going to be going on Patreon for people who support me there. So you can watch it and save it if you want, I don't care, but it's going to be deleted as soon as it's done, because I'm going to be uploading it on Patreon, right? So that's how it is. And the reason for this is to become more independent, to not put my eggs all in one basket like I'm doing with my YouTube. I want to diversify, right? And that's something that based on my own inclination. I hope you guys enjoy it, and let me know what you guys think of this, okay? All right, let's get started now. All right, testing. So have you guys read the first chapter or no? Sure. You guys don't have to read it, by the way. So, you got the book. All right, we got the good students here. We got the good students up in here, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm a little worried because as soon as I began drawing, now I do it for like almost 5 hours a day, and that usually went to taking notes and reading and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully I can become more disciplined. That's what I'm hoping for. So I could do this correctly. You could record it too.
No.
Okay. You can record it on audio and stuff like that if you want. All right. So I really like this chapter because it talks about rational thinking, right? And rationality is our rational mind is the most powerful tools that humans have, because it allows us to use our empathy and create. It allows us to use the information we get and formulate things, to know about the person's past, to know about the future and stuff like that, right? That's how rational thinking does, right? And the thing is that the truth of the matter is that we all have to understand this one principle, is that we are not immune to irrationality. We all think that we're rational creatures. We all think that we are all level-headed. And when we become irrational, we still don't see ourselves becoming irrational. The only way we notice our irrationality, for the most part, for most people, is with perspective, looking back in time. But we don't got that much time, you see. What you gotta do is learn how to catch your reactions in the moment. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm gonna do is I want to read the notes with you guys, because I got this off my head, but I want to be able to read the notes and then go off of it like we're reading the Bible. All right, let's not deify Robert though. Next time I'll bring like a picture. That'll be a little creepy. Like, all right, going a little too far. All right, so animals have reaction time. Animals versus human reaction time, and I found this pretty fascinating. Is that animals don't think before they react because of their environment. They have to be able to think, and then they have to sense a stimulus and then act, because or else they're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So animals do not need to feel an experience and fucking be present to that experience. A little deer can't be doing that shit, or else a little deer becomes little meat, for the tiger and stuff like that, right? But as humans, we can't do that. But at the core of all human beings, they want to be able to react that way. They don't want to have to think. They don't want to have to create space between themselves and their awareness and their reaction. They want to be like animals because it's so easy to do that, right? The problem is that when you suddenly start acting without thinking, there's a break in between that because we have this rational mind. We notice we're not acting, we're not living up to what we say. Animals, on the other hand, they don't have that rational mind, so they don't feel guilty. They don't think about the past. You see, their emotions, their sudden reaction works very perfectly for who they are because they don't need to have that moment of thinking. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is that emotions and rational thinking didn't evolve for the same purposes. You see, rational thinking evolved in order to socialize, in order to read people and be able to formulate, like I said earlier, be able to formulate and predict the future. But other animals, they have almost like a clean slate. There's no discontinuity in them. There's no not feeling themselves. They don't feel that way. Animals feel themselves all the time. You see what I'm saying? So let's just keep reading this. I'm gonna get into the rhythm right now. So most of us don't know the true source of our emotions. We try to rationalize our emotions by giving them meaning. But we don't really know the true source of most of our emotions. For example, addiction. We think we want to smoke weed. But in reality, deep down, there's a deep boredom that you haven't really fulfilled inside of yourself, right? So it's very difficult to transcribe emotions into language. It's like trying to understand the hieroglyphics. You see what I'm saying? So we don't seem to have a good access to our unconscious because some emotions are hard to transcribe into language. So we can't truly learn about ourselves and our experiences. See, we think we know ourselves, but what we only know about ourselves are surface things, labels. Who we really are is underneath underneath the computer. It's the hardwiring, the circuitry. How knowing what you like, knowing what you don't like, right? For example, I didn't know that in reality a lot of my anxiety was because I just wasn't doing what I like to do. For some reason I started drawing, and then for some reason all the anxiety go away. You see what I'm saying? So as people, in order to know yourself, you should always it's almost like trying to know the brain, always testing out different reactions to see what do you react to and what you don't react to. But in order for you to do that, it requires a presence of mind. It requires you to step out of your own thoughts in order to be able to really know yourself. So a lot of people don't know themselves. A lot of people just think they know themselves. They don't know themselves at the level of experience. What I mean by the level of experience, through pure seeing. Not saying, oh, this is that. No. You are deeply observing how you feel in the moment. Not saying this or that, you just feel. There's no judgment behind that. You see what I'm saying? Am I making sense right now?
Yes.
All right, okay. So emotions didn't, like I said earlier, this is why I want to go chronologically. Emotions didn't evolve for the same purpose as our rational mind. Animals don't have a neocortex, so everything runs smoothly. But we have one, so our emotions sometimes goes against our logic, and that creates friction. Now, mind you, when I'm reading this is my second paraphrase. So I'll usually write it, paraphrase, and then type it on my laptop, paraphrase it again. So it's not like, oh, he's reading off the book. Nah, So, but we have one, right? So our emotions sometimes goes against our logic, and that creates friction. You see, the beauty about having a rational mind is we have some form of superpower. It comes at a cost, though, because it turns against ourselves very easily if you don't control it properly. You see what I'm saying? So let me see. With animals, everything runs smoothly. That's why people go back to partners that hurt them and add an extra punch by judging themselves. You see? So not only do they go back to partners and they say, fuck, why am I doing this? But the mere fact of trying to rationalize why you're doing this hurts you even more. So the rational mind is a very powerful tool, not just for ourselves, but against ourselves, if we don't know how to control it properly. You see? You can either control your emotions or you allow your emotions to control your rationality. And that's a fucking dangerous one. Because then you're just blinded. You think you're seeing, but you're really not. There's actually a condition where people think they're not blind, but they really are. That's a real condition, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Oh, you guys are thinking about that? No? All right. Never mind. It's the rational mind that can be our biggest enemy if untamed, right? Also, animals work well with emotions because when they get scared shitless, they go back and feel like ease and forget what happened. You see, they remember at an emotional level and at a visual level, right? But not through words. See, the problem is words, because words can easily misinterpret things. You know, words is a very dangerous thing, but a very powerful thing. You see, they can't really think outside of the moment, but you have a neocortex. So, you know, so sure, you're able to think abstractly, to talk about fiction, to talk about things that are unknown. That's what made us different from all the different kinds of sapiens. But at the same time, it's an extremely dangerous creature if it's untamed. You see what I'm saying? So, what's the definition of rationality? Seeing the pull of emotions in all moments and attempting to shed emotions out of decision making. That is what rationality is. Is being able to make decisions without being as influenced by emotions, because that's inevitable. You will always be influenced by emotions, but as influenced. That's pretty much what we want to get at. You know, because at the end, even though we're rational, we still bring our personality and our character through our decision making. That's like little emotions leaking out. See, making sense, people? Any questions? All right, good. That's always good when people have questions. Yeah, right. So irrational people go with the pull of emotions and make decisions based on it. You know, they kick you out because they're mad at you right now. You send that stupid email because you're mad at this right now. Or that girl texts you and she flakes on you and you send an angry message, and then you have to go on Facebook and tell your friends what you should have done properly. You should have just slept on it, actually. That's what you should have done. Now you should have the best line. Sleep on it. There's a powerful thing that happens when you're able to think clearly, right? The problem is that the thing about the pull of emotion is that when you're in it, you think clearly. That's the problem, is that you're thinking rationally. Just imagine the stupid decision we made when we were like 10 years ago. You know, and you thought you were thinking rationally, but then you look back right now, and you're like, no, I wasn't, right? That's why when I say we don't have enough time to be doing that long-term perspective shit. You know, we need to be able to see the emotion and act properly without having to wait years to think back of our behavior, because that's when all the damage is done, and you can't get back that time. You see what I'm saying? So, rational people, on the other hand, set and achieve goals and work well with others. Irrational people, on the other hand, have no patience. They look for quick fixes and have zero motivation, right? And you can see that a lot, right? So don't get me wrong, though. Like, we all have moments of irrationality. Just don't make it a consistent part of your life. You know, you can have moments when you go crazy and irrational, right? But the real people who are able to do this properly are those who are able to recover. And the funny thing is that it's in the recovering phase when you grow. You see, we all need to, from time to time, lose our sense. Because what makes you the most rational people are just those people who lost their rationality and were able to recover. Often. You see what I'm saying? Those are the most rational people. They were able to wake up from the trance of emotion and step out of it. How do you wake up from a nightmare? No, it's easier to wake up from a nightmare than from a dream. In other words, it's a lot easier to grow from intense emotions than from little titty emotions. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is that the more aware you become of your inner state, the more intense they become. And that's the fear. You know, even though it becomes intense, you still got to be there and observe them so that you can grow from it. Making sense? All right, good. All right, so now we're going to go into the steps of rationality, how to become more rational. These are some of the steps on how to do that. Are you guys giving yourself notes?
No, just
All right. All right. Okay, we're going to have to... All right. I'm watching, people. I'm watching. Right? And this is funny thing that I wrote is that emotions that is pondered by rational mind intensifies. Right? Whenever you think about what other people did for you, for some reason, whenever you just think about, for example, it's like thinking about your ex. Right? When you think about your ex, you know you can't be thinking too much or else you feel a little sad. Right? So what you gotta do, you can't ponder too much on that. And I'm definitely not talking for personal experience. Right? Let me distract myself right now. So the first step to rational thinking is recognize the pull of emotion. All right. Now, does anybody have any questions right now? Any comments? Anything that you guys want to say? Anything from experience? Okay, good. So to recognize the pull of emotions, The way we make decision is on pleasure and pain principle. And Tony Robbins talks a lot about that. How we're driven from what motivates us is a desire for pleasure and a desire to avoid pain. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Avoiding what's uncomfortable and going towards comforting and familiar feelings. That's how people operate. That's why people just have habits. That's what habits is. It's comfortableness, right? And this engorges all of our thinking and decision making with emotional biases. You see, so whenever, and this is a little, and this is the sad part, is that whenever you look for comfort in life, you're being emotional. It kind of sucks though, right? How whenever you look for comfort, that's an emotional decision. It's not rational. Because what do you really want? You want to achieve greatness. Alright, if you guys enjoyed this, you can watch the rest of the video on my new channel, The Book Club, in the description down below. Okay, peace out.